This is the only review of OLight ArkPro you'll ever have to see, because in this review, we'll drop it underwater, throw it on hard concrete, and test all of its functionality in one video. In this Apple iPhone, this box is three-dimensional. It represents the size and the shape of the flashlight. I think they pressed it from the inside to give you that three-dimensional feeling as you pick up the box. No, don't worry. This is not going to be that kind of review where I'm going, ooh and ah. I'm an engineer. I do equipment testing for a living, so first thing I did is I opened the box, I read the specs. And my favorite spec to test, because a lot of companies lie about that, is IP rating. What is IP rating? It's dust and water vulnerability rating. This flashlight is rated IPX7. That means it can retain full functionality after sitting underwater for 30 minutes in 1 meter depth. 1 meter is about 3 feet, just a little deeper. And this is exactly what I'm going to do. And because half an hour is a long time to wait, I'm going to accelerate this video and do a side-by-side with a box opening and sharing my impressions with you. Let's go. And here I am on my patio with the flashlight. The flashlight is attached to a fishing line, and what you see over there is a 1 meter deep, 4-inch diameter PVC pipe filled to the berm with water. I'm going to set my timer, and with the flashlight on, it's in some medium setting. It's not at the highest setting. The hydrostatic pressure at the bottom of this tube is 1.42 psi or 9.8 kilopascals. Well, OLight requested an unboxing video, so here it is very quickly. Locate the green circle and arrow and pull on the tab. Use ONIFE AI-ON, available for purchase separately, to pry open the lid. Open secondary lid and pull on the black circle with an arrow. Read, rethink light, reimagine style, and that's an order. Inside this thing, there's this beautiful certificate of authenticity. Doesn't that make you feel special? All this gilding. And here's user manual, and I recommend reading it. This is something only the hardcore OLight fans prefer, a magnetic base charger. Are you ready to see the light? Or as Brits wrongly call it, the torch. Voila. Here you go. Packaged nicely. Has a quick explanation sticker right there. If you didn't read the manual, that should help you. You guessed it, pull on the tab and peel it off. And here it is in all its glory. Aha, this must be the laser button, which is now separate and on the side. I like the texturing and what's under this trapdoor. Aha, that's that long-awaited USB-C charging port, just like you see on OLight Ultra. Hallelujah. And that begs the question. OLight is rated to IPX5, which means only water spray. The Ark Felt series were rated to IPX7, so did they downgrade Ark Pro? No, they didn't. Here it is, IPX7. No seal on the trapdoor, huh? Well, we'll find out soon enough. The laser button is on the right side. Hold it down to adjust the brightness. Pressing the center button down cycles through the brightness settings. When you deactivate the light, the laser turns off. When you turn it on the next time, the laser will be off. Double-clicking goes to the brightest setting in either beam or flood modes, and triple-clicking causes it to go in a strobe mode. The UV light is activated by rotating the dial counterclockwise and pressing the button. It comes on in the low mode. Holding it down takes it to the higher mode. Flip the card over to read the secret message. It says Pro Performance powers your boldest adventure. Pro. Where I live, it's really hard to find a good spot to film flashlight functionality because there's a lot of light and noise pollution. But I'll try anyway. So here's my Ark Pro. By the way, I'm using OLight Mini to film this. Anyway, so it's set at the lowest beam setting right now, and this tree that you see there in the distance, it's about 40 meters away, 40 yards. And now I'm going to go to the brightest setting, and you can see the beam lights it right up. Moreover, farther down over there in the distance, those trees are about 110 or 120 meters or yards away, and it's definitely reaching over there. I'm going to switch to flood, and you can see the difference. Right now, flood is the brightest setting, and I'm going to go to the lowest setting. Obvious difference. And I'm going to cycle through settings on the flood. There are 3 settings for brightness for either flood or beam. And here's the beam cycling through the settings. I like that when I double tap it, it goes to the brightest setting right there. Definitely a well-focused beam, but not too focused, so it gives me plenty of field of view at the distance. I'm pretty impressed with that. So one criticism I have, it cycles through the settings too fast, probably a quarter of a second cycle. I wish their engineers changed the firmware to give me at least half a second to react to the brightness setting. In my other pocket, I have ArcFelt Ultra, so here it doesn't have a light and beam separation, it's always the same. So you can see that the field is narrower, but even at the brightest settings, it will not reach or highlight the trees at the distance. I can still get enough light on the nearby tree, but the tree line at 110, 120 meters is not well visible. And here's the Ark Pro. You can see the difference right there. So here it is, and here's ArcFelt. And let me switch to, and this is the flood on the Ark Pro. I have another request for a light. When you name your next light, could we please stay away from the word Ark? It's getting confusing to a lot of people. So, oh, and let me show you the laser. Yeah, I can see the dot at 120 yard distance. Let me see. Let's try the ArcFelt laser. It only has one brightness setting, and so you're getting about the same laser capability. And I'm switching back to Ark Pro. I'm going to do the UV light. I don't know if you will see anything. So there are 2 brightness settings. So here's the brightest. And that's all I had to say about this. At exactly 30 minutes, the timer went off. As you can see, it's nice and bright outside already. And I'm pulling it out. I am going to wipe it off as allowed by the IP test standard before I test functionality. So I'm just removing surface water, checking under the trap door, it's bone dry. We're looking good, so now it's time to cycle through functions to see if any of that will let the water enter switches and short them out. Nothing like that. And now I'm ready for the drop test. Before we get into the rest of the test, I'd like to share with you how I EDC or everyday carry a flashlight such as this. First and foremost, I actually do use the head attachment. As you can see, the clip allows you to get it into your pocket by using the lower loop, and the upper loop on the clip allows you attaching it to the bill of your head. Make sure that the switch is up, and then go and feed it onto your bill. Make sure you're snug here, and you can turn it on and set to whichever type of light you need. It looks goofy, it feels a little awkward, but it's extremely useful when you're trying to use both of your hands. Another option to do that, you can attach it to any steel structure because the base is magnetic, and that frees up. You can work this way without actually experiencing extra weight. But when you're working in a tight space, reaching into the pocket, especially if you're crouching down, it can be hard. In those situations, I actually use the belt caddy that allows me very easy, unencumbered access when I'm in the crouch down position to all my EDC tools. Let me show you. So everything you see here, I purchased basically on Amazon, and I will be providing links to every piece of gear you're about to see. But here's the belt caddy, and it has a flashlight compartment, which was, I think, originally designed for a round flashlight, but I have no issue fitting Ark Pro into that compartment right here. So whenever I need to reach it, instead of trying to dig it out of my pocket, I just pop it like this, and it comes right out. And when I'm done using it, without me looking, it goes right back in. I'll show you what else I have in this caddy in a second. Another thing is I'm using this ratchet belt. It's adjusted by ratcheting, so there are no holes. I can make it as tight as I want or loosen it up. And another advantage of this belt is if I want to switch the caddy from one side to another, if you're in a very tight space, that can be a real need for you. This belt buckle comes right off, and then I can feed the belt through here and right through the loop, reattach the buckle, and I'm ready to go again. So now it's on my left side. So you never know what the circumstances you are if you're working with your hands, which I am not an office type engineer, 50-50 also. I don't mind getting my hands dirty. I love it, in fact. So let me show you the caddy. What I'm carrying here is the flashlight. Let me take it out. My Stanley measuring tape. Absolute must have a permanent marker, because when you're marking something on a painted surface, that's the best thing to use. I also use that soap marker when I work on raw metal surfaces. This is like a chalk, but it's actually soapy. Welders use it a lot in the weld shops. And I have my ID caddy here, my ID carrier attached to this handy-dandy clip that came with the caddy. And this is one of the multi-tools that I like to carry. Let me demonstrate the belt function again here real quick. Reinsert, reattach, reconnect. And the belt comes in a much longer length, so I cut it down to my size. There's probably another 20 whole inches to that belt. So here's the caddy. I've been using it for months or weeks at a time, and it patinaed and wore nicely to my body. The brand is Gentle Stash. I really enjoyed it. Back to the test. So they didn't specify that you can drop it from 1 meter height, but I'm going to do it anyway. For two reasons. Arkfeld was rated for that and passed. Was lens down drop. I'm switching it onto this charger side. The second reason, this can happen when you pull it out of your pocket. Now I'm turning it to the switch side. The surface is solid concrete with anti-slip grip media. I am detecting no cracks on the lens. The switch functions just as fine. There's no difference between how the light functioned before the drop test or after. But I am going to put it back under the water just to make sure that nothing came loose and it still meets its IP rating. here you go, it's going to be another 5 minutes. If you already own Ark Feld, I would stick with it because the functionality improvement is there, but it's not humongous. Although Ark Pro has the USB-C charging, which is a huge deal to me, and just for that I would pick that over the Ark Feld. Otherwise, the light is indestructible. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and please let me know in the comments what that embossed graphic means on the flashlight. A10 Warhog? Transformers? Let me know.